one day after the House approved an $18 billion job measure to help spur job creation. The Labor Department is set to release the February employment report. That's coming at 8:30 this morning. In advance of that, Congressman Kevin Brady is with me. He's the ranking Republican on the Joint Economic Committee that will be examining the data later this morning. He's with me right here on Capitol Hill. Congressman, very glad to have you.
Thank you.
Just to remind everybody, you're a Republican. You're from Texas. You have been critical of the Democrats' efforts to create jobs. I want to know why. Congress is passing bills. We just talked about the one that passed the House, and they do include at least some of the things that you'd like to see, which is tax relief. There are tax incentives for hiring in the latest bill.
There's some very tiny incentives for businesses to hire, but our small businesses, medium-sized businesses as well, just see that as a gimmick. You know, getting $1,000 to bring back or rehire a $40,000 worker isn't good math. And the truth is, they're frightened by what I would call a blizzard of bad economic policy. The healthcare mandates, higher taxes, the dangerous debt levels really are frightening businesses away from hiring. And I think that uncertainty back home is palpable. I mean, they are holding back. They're very uncertain. I think consumers, too, are worried not just about their finances, but about the country's finances, so they're holding back. I think that's an issue the White House just hasn't addressed.
If there's one thing that Washington could do to address the job situation right now, and I say Washington to include the White House, the Democratic Congress, and the Republican Congress, what would it be?
You know, this seems simple, but I would stop frightening the horses. I would take health care, cap and trade, and all the tax increases off the table permanently, at least for the next 3 to 4 years. Allow the job creators to make those key investment and hiring decisions. You know, I had to laugh, but during the week Congress was snowed out, I think the American public, its spirit lifted during that week. Maybe we ought to adjourn for the rest of the year. Might be the best stimulus package we could create.
You mentioned some of the ways that your constituents are feeling back home. Share with us a bit more about what they say when it comes to hiring. What is it going to take for the typical small American business owner to start hiring more people?
We did a series of roundtables with small, medium-sized businesses last week. They all said the same thing, which was it's so uncertain. Stop the fear. They need customers, they need clients, they need that demand, yet people are holding back those decisions, both in consuming and in making that new expansion plan or hiring back that worker. And so they just think, look, the gimmicks won't work for you guys. And the most telling point, Eric, is we have enough trouble predicting the market. Predicting the market in you and Congress is impossible. So we're just going to hold it where we're at.
With about 45 seconds left, I need to ask you a question on trade. You're also the ranking Republican on trade in the House Ways and Means Committee. Senator Levin taking over on a temporary basis the chairmanship of that committee. What's it going to mean for trade?
Well, unfortunately, not much. More delays. I think we're not going to move the Colombia, Panama, or South Korea agreements, and more importantly, we're going to allow other countries to pass us by, reach agreements that cut our American businesses out. So it's not good news for a country that needs to be selling more products around the world.
All right, Congressman, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Eric.
Representative Kevin Brady, Democrat from Texas.